Hello and welcome. We are going to be talking about Matthew 13 today, specifically Matthew 13, chapter 13, verse 18. I was sitting here and I was like, God, I really don't know what you want me to talk about tonight. I don't know what I want to look into tonight. I just kind of feel like, it could be anything. And I opened up the Bible, just landed on any page, and I was reading, and I was like, can't really see myself talking about that. I've heard that one before. It's not really calling out. And then I landed on the parable of the sower explained. And I was just talking to some friends yesterday about tithing and sowing. I think this will be a good one to talk about. Let's talk about God. Okay. I want to go through it and share what I've looked up so far. We're going to start in Matthew chapter 13, verse 18. The parable of the sower explained. To give you some context on this chapter, I did some research. Here's what I found so far. They would speak in Aramaic. When they would read scripture, it would be in Hebrew, and when they would speak with Gentiles, it'd be Greek. Therefore, hear the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom and does not understand it, then the wicked one comes and snatches away what was sown in his heart. This is he who received seed by the wayside. So, first thing that comes to me when reading this is that this was me when I was a teenager. I used to be in metal bands. I used to think that, I was too cool for the God stuff. And I had mainly just an aunt who would talk to me about this Jesus stuff. But I never wanted to hear it. God was not part of our circle, so I didn't want to hear it. And, this kind of describes exactly who I was and where I was at that time. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom, so that means when somebody tells you about God, and you don't understand it, you don't even try, the wicked one comes and snatches away what was sown in his heart. And this is so true. Like when I just think back on my life as a teenager, I was in metal bands. The music we were singing was basically like demonic worship, if I'm being honest. Me personally, I just liked playing drums. So that's where my mind was at. I was never paying attention to lyrics, but I didn't realize until I got older, like, whoa, we were saying some weird stuff, and, there's broken noses in the mosh pit and stuff like that. So it's like, what are you running there, right? But this would describe me. So this is anybody who hears the word, but doesn't receive it, doesn't understand it, or they don't want to. Next verse is 20. But he who received the seed on stony places, this is he who hears the word and immediately receives it with joy. Okay, I'm going to call this New Age type stuff, in my opinion. Also something I was part of, the New Age. When it says hearing the word and receiving it on stony places, I want you to think about this for a second. If you try to take seeds and plant them on stone, they're not going to grow. And if they do grow, they're going to die very fast because there's nothing for them to anchor into. They can't actually grab into soil, grab into something where they can hold on. So it says, he who received the seed on stony places, this is he who hears the word and immediately receives it with joy. So it's great. They hear it for the first time and they say, wow, this is powerful. But there's nothing rooting that word. It doesn't stay in their heart. It's more of just like when you put on a cool jacket. Oh, that looks nice. And that's it. It's basically like worldly interest at best. Okay, trends, that could be counting as a trend. Now, he who received seed among the thorns is he who hears the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becomes unfruitful. The way I would describe this is somebody who hears the word, they find out about God, they hear scripture, maybe they even go to church, and, they're going through hard times, they're in spiritual battle, as most people are. Except the problem is that they are still very focused on worldly things, worldly possessions. They don't realize that really only God matters in this life. Because when you hold on to worldly possessions, when we die, those stay behind, right? So we can't make eternal decisions based on lifetime emotions. So he who received seed among the thorns is he who hears the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becomes unfruitful. The deceitfulness of riches, how the world tricks us, it chokes the word. So it takes the word and it squeezes it and it kills it, because what happens when you choke something? It dies, and he becomes unfruitful. So he felt good for a little while, but then it died, and that's it. So now the next one, this is who we want to be. This is the description that we want to have. But he who received seed on the good ground. So that is soil. Good ground is soil, not stone, not within thorns. He who received seed on the good ground is he who hears the word. So he's hearing, he's listening, and he's looking, and understands it, who indeed bears fruit and produces some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. So if you are on good ground, which is, where are you at in life right now? Are you of the world? Are you caught amongst thorny people? Or have you decided, no, I don't want to be of this world. I want to have a kingdom mindset. That's where you need to be, because when the seed hits the soil, it will grow. It will grow. And it took me about 20 years to figure that out. When we're in this life right now, especially with all the crazy stuff that's going on, we need to be firmly rooted in good ground.